bit, Bitcoin down a bit. Oil's up. That's an important one. Oil keeps going up. It's like $98 a barrel for Brent crude. Why is that important? Inflation. Inflation. Higher inflation goes, higher interest rates are going to go. Higher interest rates are going to go, lower the market goes. And again, it's in your Trends Journal, our forecast, where interest rates are going to hit and the market's going to crash. Oh, copper. Dr. Copper. They call it Dr. Copper because copper is used in everything from high tech to heavy industry. And those prices keep going up. So that's very important. So there's going to be more demand. There's no question about it. There's going to be the bounce. How long it's going to last? Well, we're doing the best we can in forecasting it. As I mentioned, you know, I bought this Time magazine. It cost $8. $8. Nothing in here at all. Nothing. And the Trends Journal, this is like last week's news next week. And the Trends Journal is tomorrow's news today, history before it happens. I want to read to you the stupidity of the news that they're putting out. And this is just the brainwashing crap that's an example of the mainstream media. The year the Oscars came down to earth. You can pretend not to care about the Oscars, but even the most hardened souls secretly thrilled to their glamour. What kind of bullshit is that? I could give a damn about the Oscars. You know why the Oscar ratings are so down? Because of Me Too. They don't like the name Oscar. No. They're down because art is dead. Grammy's dead. I keep mentioning this. You got Mick Jagger coming out and making fun of people that won't get the shot. Willie Nelson telling people to get the shot. Selling crap digital junk, $23 million for digital art. You know, digital this, digital that, digital nothing. Art is dead at every level. So anyway, Trends Journal, no magazine like it. We have the forecast in here. We've been right on. So the Fed's holding down interest rates. That's their latest. They came out yesterday and talked about it and holding them down near zero. But they're going to go up. And again, copper prices going up. You go shopping, you know what the reality is on inflation. So they're saying now they're going to let inflation go over 2%. And they made up that 2% number in 2012. But they're going to start raising it at some point because investors plow money into TIPS vehicles. Funds that hold inflation-protected bonds are enjoying their longest streak of inflows in more than a decade, as investors grid themselves for an increase in consumer prices as the U.S. economy recovers. Again, in your Trends Journal. European banks plan to slash business travel, bodes ill for airline recovery hopes. This is out of Financial Times. I'm mentioning this because commercial real estate sectors like New York, you know, the big cities, conventions, trade shows, people traveling back and forth. There's going to be a lot less travel. Business travel is the most lucrative way airlines make money. That's where they make the dough, not on tourism travel. And now this thing's going to go down. Again, the less people going into the city, less commercial. Again, the data's in your Trends Journal. Shoppers venture back to the mall. This is out of yesterday's Wall Street Journal. You know what this is? Bullshit. You got it. The malls were going down before this. I wrote about it in Trends 2000. The poll on the mall, you know, while foot traffic was 24%, it increased. Foot traffic at the representative sample of 52 malls in March, was up 86% from the same month last year. Yeah. Well, that foot traffic was actually 24% lower than it went up than 2019. This thing isn't going to come back. The malls ain't going to happen. But the good news is, despite losses, CEOs prosper amid pandemic. This is from the toilet paper record. No, it's not the pandemic that they're prospering from. everybody in the bigs got bigger because it wasn't the pandemic, it was the politicians that locked down everything. And the bigs got bigger because you're not a non-essential business. But going back to this, Boeing, yeah, they're terrible. They were doing terrible. They laid off 30,000 workers, $12 billion loss. David Calhoun was awarded $21 million in compensation. Norwegian Cruise Line, they only lost $4 billion. The CEO last year, $36.4 million, one after another. If anybody doesn't see what's going on, you better grow up. This is a takeover of our freedom like you cannot imagine, because we've never seen this in our living history. In the past, this has happened. You know, you go back to the decades, you know, the centuries, where the bigs are taking over everything. You're a non-essential piece of garbage. You get a job at Amazon packing boxes and before the robots take it away from you. You make $62.50 a week in a hernia, everything will be fine. And it's one after another here. Hilton. Let's see, Hilton. They only lost $720 million, but their CEO got $55 million in salary in 2020. You got it? Again, I'm holding a rally on May 29th up here in Kingston, New York, to unite for freedom, peace, and justice, Memorial Day rally, May 29th. It starts at 3 p.m. We're going to have great band. You know the music leading into this? That's Smokey Hormel. He's going to be here with his band playing. We're going to have alcohol, food, and it's free to come in. You buy whatever you want. Please come. We need your support. We can't fight this alone. We must unite for freedom, peace, and justice. You can see what's going on over here. This breaks my heart every day when I have to read this, by the way. This doesn't make me happy. United we stand, divided we fall. So go to OccupyPeace.com. OccupyPeace.com for all the information you need about the rally coming up. And you check it out. Great, and you could donate what you can, do what you can to make it happen when you can, and be there when you can. So check this poster out. It's Join to Unite for Freedom, Peace, and Justice. Okay? Memorial Day at the Four Corners of Freedom, Crown and John Street in Kingston, New York. Okay, venture funds bask in blockbuster profits. Again, the bigs are getting bigger. Interest in stocks with fast expanding companies, particularly newly listed companies that aren't making any money, is fueling the burst of big profits. With low interest rates, a host of stimulus action by the federal government, and a flood of amateur investors getting into trading, demand for those shares surged. Again, venture funds. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as venture capitalists. There were no such thing as hedge funds and private equity groups like there are now. I just read to you how the millionaires are getting richer. And again, according to the data, the billionaires got $8 trillion richer last year as most everybody else got poorer. But profits surge at Deutsche Bank. You know why? Merger and acquisition takeover activity. The bigs are buying everything. If we don't unite, we're gone. We're becoming nothing more, as I said, than plantation workers in Slavelandia. This is a big story. Look at this. Wall Street Journal. In a lockdown year, Americans moved. Big cities lost residents, suburbs gained, on and on. Now, we only forecast this, this is from yesterday's New York Times. We only forecast this a year ago in your Trends Journal, that this was going to happen. So now people want to know, is there going to be a bust? What's going to happen? Where are the ups and downs? Is this thing overinflated? It's in your Trends Journal. We wrote a lot of it, load of articles last week and this week in the real estate section on where the future is going. And the future is going also when you look at the cover of the Trends Journal. Freedom? Forget it, man. They're in charge. And that's really what's going on. And another great cover. You look at the sole on that shoe. That's the COVID. There's another Anthony Frieda work of these covers. There's nothing like it. Who's in jail? Freedom? We don't have any. It's gone. Again, we wrote about this going way back. The Chinese way. You must obey. Turkey goes into first full lockdown as COVID wave surges. So, you know what the death rate in Turkey is? 0.8% of the COVID. What are you locking down the place for? Their economy is in real trouble. Their inflation rate skyrocketing. The lira tanking against the dollar. Unemployment, youth unemployment, it's like 25%. Yep. Tourism, down 72%. And they locked it down. The implications of this are going to be disastrous. The little businesses are going out of business. How much more data do I have to keep providing? You ready for this? Heil Germany! Heil Germany! They're coming back. Oh, they be happy. Virus deniers in Germany will be under surveillance. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is out of the toilet paper record, the New York Times today. By the way, you see all these outlines I do? All right, I read the whole story, outline the salient points. This goes to the writers. The writers then give it back to me. Then I write the trend post and trend forecast where this is going to go. The amount of work we're doing into this to give you the best information that you can't get anywhere else in the world is with all our heart and soul. Germany's Domestic Intelligence Service, ja, das SS, said yesterday that it would surveil members of the increasing aggressive coronavirus denier movement. You are not allowed to deny the coronavirus and what we're doing. And it's not only in Germany, it's everywhere. The rally on May 29th is what this is about. It's not about only America, it's about the world. If we don't unite for freedom, peace, and justice, we're gone. It's finished. You ready for this? The movement, fueled by wild conspiracy theories. A conspiracy theory is when you don't believe the authorities.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Or the health officials.
Bullshit.
CDC relaxes its rules on outdoor masks. So you can go outside now without a mask if you're not vaccinated. So much here. Ready? After making inroads with vaccinations, U.S. reported decline in shots in past 2 weeks. And of course, they blame those people that are Republicans and conservatives. In Joe Biden's speech yesterday, he told Americans, quote, "Go get vaccinated, America." One of Biden's this is from the Cartoon News Network, CNN. One of Biden's most difficult tasks in the months ahead will be to persuade those people who did not vote for him to get a vaccine. Hey, go screw yourself, you little piece of stupid crap. What the hell does that have to do with it? I don't want to get a vaccine because I don't trust it. Can I not trust it? No. You have to be a moron like me. I got a vaccine, so you should too. I wouldn't say moron. That's what you believe. That's fine. Don't tell me to tell what I have to believe what you believe. I only write a magazine with all the facts in it and know about this stuff. Don't call me someone that did not vote for him to get a vaccine. So he wants to find the right messengers to help convince them. The right messengers are the sellout little low-life artists. They're not artists. They're members of the club, and they don't want to get outside it. They want to make their money. I didn't vote for anybody. I don't vote for lesser of two evils. Don't do business with them. Don't hang out with them. I want nothing to do with them. Biden also said the future belongs to America. And we're in a competition with China and other countries to win the 21st century. America's lost the 21st century. Look who's running it. Again, look at your top trends for 2021. China, 2021. I've only been writing about this, for how long? The 20th century was the American century. The 21st century is the Chinese century. The business of America has been war. The business of China is business. And the low-life scum politicians sold the country out by bringing China into the World Trade Organization and sending our jobs overseas. Clinton did it the most with NAFTA and bringing China into the WTO. And then, of course, we used to make fun of China when we saw the people wearing these masks. And now everybody wears them. The Chinese way, they've taken over already. Just quickly over here. This is from Nova Scotia. Restaurant owner found guilty for violating Health Protection Act. Fined $1,000. 4 people from Wolfville were fined $1,000 each for too many gathering. And then you got Premier Ian Rankin, a Rankin little piece of little nothing. A little premier. Those are curse words. Telling somebody to go F themselves, not a curse word. Dignitaries are curse words. Premier, a little piece of shit. They announced a province-wide shutdown for at least 2 more weeks. All right? 67 deaths out of 971,000 people over the course of a year. Over the course of a year. And you're shutting down the place. Where are the people fighting? That's what I'm doing. I'm fighting every way I can. With the magazine, with the movements, the Occupy Peace movement. Excuse me. Ranking piece of crap. You know what the death rate is in Halifax, in Nova Scotia? 0.0069%. But they let the large, Nova Scotia, large retailers can still sell non-essential items. All right? You buy these politicians who are very cheaply. Imbeciles and morons call it campaign contributions. Adults call it bribes and payoffs. And you buy them off cheaply because this little piece of crap Rankin and that Dougie Ford and that Trudeau of dope, Trudeau, play dough, nothing dough, they never work. They don't go any, they got there. So you buy them off cheaply because they don't have the value of going out and working and knowing how, and that's what they've done. France will start relaxing its nightly curfew. And it goes on here. But there's still all this stuff. So they have 5.5 million COVID cases so far out of 103,000 deaths. This is over the course of a year. You know what that equals? 1.86%. And where are most of the dead? People over 70 years of age. 1.16%. And how long are they locked down that place? How many businesses and lives and livelihoods? Millions destroyed around the world. Hundreds of millions. So then when you look at out of the population, remember that's the cases. Out of the entire population of 65 million, the death rate is 0.1590%. And you lock down the place. CDC paves way to resume cruises. You ready? Yesterday, CDC said passengers could go on board if 98% of the crew members and 95% of the passengers are fully vaccinated. Then you, as a non-vaccinated person, can get on board if you pass the test. This vaccination thing is for real. They're gonna keep doing it, and it's not gonna stop. If we don't, this is deadly, what they're doing to us. They've robbed, this is not my America. CDC. How about FUCK? CDC. A bunch of little people, little bureaucrats, telling us what to do. You ready? New York to lift curfew on restaurants and bars. The state will allow more dancing at catered events such as weddings, effective Monday. But dancers should be still required to observe social distancing and wear masks. In Connecticut, dancing within 6 feet of another person is strongly discouraged unless you are a family member. They're making this shit up. Crapheads are making this shit up. Oh, and they're going to open up on the curfew is going to be lifted next month. At the midnight curfew on bars and restaurants will expire on May 17th. Well, I say it should expire May 16th. Why I say May 19th. May what? May they keep screwing over us? This is insanity. And on May 31st for indoor dining areas. And they're going to allow patrons to sit at bars in New York. This is insanity. Right in front of our eyes. Where are the people fighting? And it keeps going on. We have so much information here. Can't go over all of it. Thousands protest military council in Chad. Nobody cares about Chad. What's a Chad? Oh, Chad's like a Yemen. Nobody cares. You better care about this stuff. And you better learn about it. The Greatest Depression's hitting. It's not being felt because of all the cheap money being pumped in here. Hundreds of millions of lives, if not billions, have been destroyed in livelihoods by the COVID war. And now they're going to keep coming out. And I'm not making it up. You heard Pfizer saying, the CEO, shot every year. Shot every year. So, again, the rally. Please pass the word. Spread the word. Go to OccupyPeace.com. Please donate. Donate what you can. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Do what you can. I can't fight this on my own, man. I'm one guy. We have to unite. We're giving everything we have with the Trends Journal. Subscribe to that magazine if you want to see history before it happens. There's nothing else like it. Thank you for tuning in. This is just some of today's Trends in the News. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.